The ocean at night is a different world. When the sun disappears and the horizon dissolves, the sea stops being a place you travel across and becomes something you exist inside. Sound carries farther. Darkness feels heavier, and every sailor, no matter how experienced, knows the same quiet truth. At night, the ocean watches back. The patrol vessel cut through the Pacific with steady confidence, its hull slicing black water under a starless sky. There was no moon, no wind, no swell. The sea was unnaturally calm, flat as oil, reflecting nothing. For the crew, this was supposed to be an easy rotation routine surveillance. Long hours, little excitement, the kind of mission that blurred together with dozens of others over a career. Lieutenant Mark Hoffel stood on the bridge, coffee cooling in his hand, eyes scanning a darkness that gave him nothing in return. He had learned long ago not to trust calm seas. Still water made him uneasy. It always felt like the ocean was holding its breath. Below deck, the sonar room glowed faintly blue. Screens hummed softly, tracing invisible worlds beneath the ship. Sonar operators spent most nights watching empty space schools of fish, drifting debris, thermal layers that meant nothing. The ocean was mostly silence. Until 0217 hours, the anomaly appeared without warning, a deep contact, far below the ship. Large enough to register clearly, but too slow to classify. At first, the operator assumed equipment error. He adjusted the settings, recalibrated the frequency, and checked the readings again. The contact remained. It wasn't moving laterally. It wasn't behaving like a submarine or a whale. It was rising straight up from the depths. The operator reported it to the bridge, his voice carefully neutral, professional. Lieutenant Hoffel acknowledged the call, leaning closer to the display mounted beside him. The data made no sense. The contact was massive, larger than anything that should have been moving undetected in open water. He ordered the ship's speed reduced. The engine softened, and the vessel slowed, its wake shrinking until the water closed behind it, as if nothing had passed. The calm returned, deeper now, more oppressive. On sonar, the object continued to rise. At 200 meters, the bridge grew quiet. At 100 meters, unease settled in. At 50 meters, the contact stopped directly beneath the ship. The sea felt suddenly crowded. Hoffel ordered a slow turn, careful not to provoke whatever lay below. The ship responded, metal creaking as it adjusted course. The contact adjusted with it, maintaining position with unsettling precision. Then the surface ahead began to move. At first, it looked like a trick of the Aja's subtle disturbance, where the water should have been still. But the disturbance spread, forming a perfect circle, ripples expanding outward with no visible cause. The lookout shouted. Something was coming up. The water bulged, rising against gravity itself, as if pushed from below by an immense force. Then the surface broke. Not violently, not explosively. It parted. A shape emerged, dark, slick, and enormous. It rose slowly from the sea, shedding water in long, heavy streams. The ship's lights caught fragments of uneven textures, shifting contours, surfaces that looked neither scaled nor smooth. It did not resemble any known vessel or creature. It looked ancient, wrong. It continued to rise until it towered above the deck, blotting out what little light the ship cast into the night. The men on the bridge stood frozen, their training overwhelmed by something far older than procedure. The ocean around the thing began to move, water pulling inward toward its base, forming a slow, deliberate current. The patrol vessel rocked gently, caught in a force it could not fight. The ship's lights flickered. For a moment, the surface of the thing seemed to change. The light didn't reflect back. It sunk into it, swallowed by depth. Within that darkness, movement stirred. Patterns formed and collapsed, suggesting awareness without eyes, attention without form. It was aware of them. Hoffel felt a cold certainty settle in his chest. This was not an enemy, not a machine, not something meant to be engaged or understood. It felt like a boundary, something humans were never supposed to cross. Then, without warning, it began to sink. No splash, no rush of displaced water. It simply descended, the ocean closing over it with unsettling ease. The circling current faded. The surface smoothed. The black water became empty again, as if nothing had ever disturbed it. On sonar, the contact dropped faster than physics should allow, vanishing into depths beyond tracking range. Silence reclaimed the ship. Eventually, Haffel ordered full power and a course away from the area. No one questioned him. The engines surged, the vessel fleeing across calm water that now felt hostile, watchful. By morning, the sea looked normal again. Blue, harmless, infinite. Reports were written carefully, stripped of emotion, reduced to technical language that explained nothing. An unidentified underwater anomaly. No further action required. But the crew never forgot. Years later, long after uniforms were hung up and sea time became memory, those who were there still dreamed of that night, of black water and perfect stillness, of something immense rising slowly from the deep, as if answering a call no human could hear. The ocean has always held its secrets, and sometimes, when the night is quiet and the sea is calm, it reminds us that we are not alone above its depths, only passing shadows over something far older, waiting patiently below.